All right, last unit. Woo, woo. And then we're done. Okay, so we're going to do composite functions. So the first thing I'm going to ask is, where can the domain be if I'm going to talk about both of these functions working? So what is the domain where they both exist? They both have to exist in this place. So would we agree that I could start at -2 and I could go up to 2 because they both exist. So do you see that if I went to 3, the f function exists, but the g function doesn't. So I can't go there. Okay, so that's this whole concept. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go x, -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. Okay, now let's go, what is the f of x? So I'm going to follow this function. At -2, we have a height of, I'm just going to say 2.3, you said? Okay, and at -1, the height is 4, 4, 4, 4. It stays at 4. Okay, the g of x, so when I'm at -2, its height is -1. Then at -1, the height is now -2, then -3, then it's -2, then it's -1. Okay, so here's what's happening. The first question says I would like to add the functions together. So what am I going to do? I'm going to add the y values together. Okay? 1.3. Add 2, 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to graph. So what am I graphing? I'm graphing the coordinate -2, 1.3. -1, 2. That's it. That's your drawing. Okay, you ready for the next question? So this one says to subtract the functions. So the order matters. This one says I am doing the f, subtract the g. Do you understand with subtraction, if you change that, it's a different number, right? So I have to go the f, subtract the g. So what do you get here? 3.3? 6? Right? Subtracting, so then you're subtracting a negative number. Okay, so when you graph it, what are you doing? My first coordinate is -2, 3.3. Okay. The next question says times. So what is this times this? So negative 2.3, negative 8, negative 12, negative 8, negative 4. So again, make sure you go back to the x because the coordinate is going to be negative 2 comma negative 2.3. Sorry, I know that your negative 8 is off the grid, but... Okay, good. And then the last one is division. So order matters. This tells me to go with an F divided by the G. So make sure you're doing this in the right way. F divided by G. So negative 2.3. 4 divided by negative 2. 4 divided by negative 3, we can go with the decimal because it's on a graph. Okay, I missed something on all of these drawings. What's the one thing you would deduct me for?
Oh, labeling.
I don't have any scales, so if I just do a 1 on the X and a 1 on the Y. 1 for X, 1 for Y, and I'm covered. Okay, I'm just going to make a few quick notes here at the top. If you add or multiply, order doesn't matter, right? Would that make sense in math? If you do 2 plus 6 or 6 plus 2, don't matter. If you do 2 times 6 or 6 times 2, that doesn't matter. Okay, if you subtract or divide, you better be doing an order, right? 2 subtract 6 and 6 subtract 2, those are different. Okay, also, what do you have to watch for, do you think, with division? What's a big thing we've learned over and over and over again with division? Divide by 0. What do we have to watch out for with that? It's undefined, so if we're doing graphs, what would you draw? An asymptote. Okay, so you have to watch that for division. Okay. Also, let's make a note about domain. What if an f function went on, but a g function stopped? So if a f function was going on, but the g function stopped, what do you think your final function would also do? It would have to stop, because it can't exist if they're both not there. So what if the f function went on and the g function went on? What would your final do? It would go on, right? Does that make sense? So you have to kind of watch those things. So if one has an arrow and one doesn't, you can't do the arrow then. If they both have arrows, then you can do the arrow. Okay, I think I want to try one together in your... Okay, top of page 2, question 3. We have given f of x. So this one is the f of x. And this one is the f minus the g. And this time we're trying to find g. So we're going to be working backwards. Does this make sense? Okay, so let's talk about the domain. Where does this domain exist? From 1, 2, 3, 4. This was existing from 1 to 4. And where does this one exist? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I'm going to talk about what is f of x. So then I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The height is 5. Then 3. Then 6. Then 6. Good with that? Where I'm finding that? The heights? Then I'm going to write, well, what is the g of x? Question mark. Just leave it blank. We don't know it. Then I'm going to go, what is the f minus g of x? This is the same thing. F minus g of x is the same thing as saying the f of x minus the g of x. That's the same thing. Okay, so this is a height of 4, 2, 2, 2. So we're just going to work backwards. Okay, so here I go. 5 subtract what? Gets you to 4. 1. 3 subtract 1. 6 subtract 4. 6 subtract 4. So to graph g of x, you're going to make the coordinate, go back to your x values, 1, 1. 2, 1, 3, 4, and 4, 4. So you just have to watch out for the wording of the question, because that one made me work backwards.